Good morning. Welcome to another edition of Coffee with Tea. I'm your host, the amazing Tea Street. The mug today says Emotional Support Coffee. Yep, bought it myself, thought it was cute, liked it. Guess what? So I bought it. This morning's message is don't skip the process of fear. Now, oftentimes you hear people, especially motivational speakers, okay, I am one, you hear them say things like, face your fears. You've got to face your fears. But what we don't talk about is that fear is real and it produces some side effects like anxiety. It produces an inability to move through life and choices and all those kinds of things. So fear is real. And what we don't tell people is how to process fear. We just tell them to face it. So what? I'm looking at it in its face. It doesn't help me process it and move beyond it. So today I want to talk about don't skip the process of fear. Why should we not? Now, people will say to me, and before you throw scriptures on my page, I know the Word of God says God has not given us the spirit of fear. God has not given us a whole lot of things. Doesn't mean it doesn't exist. What it means is that there are ways to conquer those fears. And so today I want to talk about first, the outcomes when we are willing to walk through the process of fear. There are great outcomes to be gained from walking through the process of fear. And so that's why we shouldn't skip it, because there's some things in it. What's in it for us? Okay? Self-confidence. When you start to face your fears, your level of confidence goes up, because what you know is the fact that I'm walking through this fear tells me that I can do something that heretofore I thought that I couldn't. So the first thing that it gives us is a greater sense of self-confidence. The next thing that it does, when you can face your fears and you can walk through the process of fear, one of the things that it has given me is a reduction in stress and a reduction in anxiety. If you don't know me and you only know who I am as an international speaker and trainer and consultant, you would never know that all of my life, including today, I battle high levels of anxiety. It's one of the reasons I don't do a lot of socializing. I have strong, high levels of anxiety. But when I walk through the situations that sometimes give me great levels of anxiety, one, it starts to calm me, it gives me greater confidence that I can, and it reduces the level of stress about situations. The moment I do it, I'm not as stressed about the thought of doing it. And finally, it gives me great resilience. I know that if I did it before, I can do it again. So it gives me good coping skills for my future when I can walk through whatever this piece and this process of fear is for this situation. I'll give you an example. I had a young woman in my program, and I've had many who have great levels of anxiety, the kind that have had them hospitalized. And their parents come and they say, hey, T, my daughter has anxiety, so please don't make her talk in front of people. So she's going to talk in front of people. I'm going to give you the strategies for how you start to deal with the things that you fear. Here's the process. First, start to expose yourself to the thing that you fear, because the more exposure you get to it. Now, don't just go out and do something radical. Make sure that the exposure is safe. For example, the first thing that I did with this young woman in the program is on the day that everybody got up and read their I am poems, I came and I stood beside her and I said, you don't have to read into the microphone. You simply have to read it so that I can hear it. I don't care that everybody else in the room can't hear it. She took a deep breath and she read very lowly, I am, and she read her name and she went through all the things on her I am poem. Everybody kept saying, I can't hear her, I can't hear her. And it wasn't for them, it was for her. So it was a safe place. I gave her a strategy for how to do her very first public speaking engagement. She had the very first experience, but it was safe. It was safe exposure. Practice mindfulness. Think on the thing that you're afraid of, and then think yourself through how you can confront it. For example, when I was afraid of heights, the way that I confronted it, I went skydiving. I went skydiving. That's how I confronted my fear of heights. If your fear is at the level that it really is a phobia, it's an irrational fear, I would encourage you, get therapy. Because I'm not a therapist and I don't want to play one on Coffee with Tea. Get some help if you need help in processing fear. Because what I know is if you don't process fear, fear becomes a dream inhibitor when indeed we can use it to become a dream enhancer. I'm the Amazing T Street. There's nothing amazing in me that's not in each and every one of you. So I encourage you today, don't skip the process of fear. I likely won't do a Coffee with Tea tomorrow because I'm flying out today to California and I'll be on the West Coast. I would appreciate it if you all would lift me up. I'm flying into Burbank, and so I'll be in the region, not in the midst of, but in the region where the fires are taking place. So if you all would lift me and all the people of California up, I'd appreciate it. I'm the Amazing T Street. Have an amazing day.